Elise Arsenault, actor and coach. It's my intention each week to share something inspirational and tangible that you can use on your own performance journey. This week, I'd like to share with you part 3 of my recent interview with fellow acting and career coach, Ethan Paulini. In this segment, we discuss how to target specific agents that might be right for you.
So I went in sessions with when clients come to me looking specifically for agents, I have them do an exercise called building their Franken agent, which is essentially taking all the best parts of agents that they've heard about or what they've imagined their agent to be. So in their dream world, what is this agent's age, gender, personality type, standing in the industry, anything. And I always say, go beyond, like, obviously we want people who are communicative, respectful, all of those great buzzwords. But at the same time, I say, think about past relationships you've had with people who have impacted your life. Think about relationships with teachers, coaches, family members, clergy, whoever have been inspiring and motivating in your life. Think about what personality traits they all held in common and try and identify some of those. And that's some of the things we would look for in an agent. Both, like I said, that professional stuff, but then also that personal connection.
That's great. I always find it refreshing when you can bring it back to, like, these are people. And, like, what are they like as people? Let's think about that versus these are their credits. These are the credits that I want them to get for me.
We have the benefit of social media these days. And I say, use that. And when they bring their research to me, I always say, write stuff down. Like, if they just got married, if they have 3 dogs, if they sit on their couch on Thursday night and watch Scandal with a bottle of red wine, write that down. Not because we're going to be creepy with it, but it will give you a sense of who they are. And eventually, as you develop that relationship and as you make them aware of you, you will start to weave those things in.
That's great. That's great. Do you have any specifics on, do you ever see clients reach out on social media? Is that ever something that you encourage, or as far as liking what they do, not to be away, or any advice around that?
Yeah. I think you have to be careful with social media. Like, I think it's okay. Like, I always say, it's okay to like their Facebook page if they have a professional Facebook page. If you have lots of mutual friends, which you tend to, sometimes it's okay to maybe friend them. It's okay to interact with them on things that are not industry related, but I'm of the mind that if they put it out there for social media, then it's for the world to consume. So you have to be careful what you say and especially these days, you have to be careful what you're putting out there and what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So if an agent posts a picture of their puppy and you think it's adorable, you by all means can like it and say that's adorable. Reaching out and making your first overture of like, hey, I'm interested in being repped by you over. You've got to set a standard of what you would expect from them too. You would expect them to reach out to to contacts on your behalf in a professional manner. So you've got to start the relationship by saying, here's a professionally formatted cover letter. Here are my materials. Here are, it's a package of what you want to present. And so it's just not really possible to do that on social media. A link to a website isn't nearly as tangible and isn't something they can hold. Even if they throw it away, they still held your stuff in their hands. And social media doesn't provide that same opportunity. Like, it's a good place also to even, like I said, you are looking to start a social, you're looking to start a friendship as well as a professional relationship with an agent. So it is okay to start participating with them on social media so that when you do get around to sending your materials, or when they get your materials, they go, oh, that's that person that I keep interacting with. That's okay. But not the initial professional overture. That's what I would avoid.
Okay, great.
Do you have anything more to say about targeting, how creating your list is important versus casting a net too wide?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm of the, when I think that's the biggest mistake that actors make, is that they send out a quick anecdotal story. Once I was in my commercial agent's office, and she only does commercials. She doesn't do film, she doesn't do TV, she doesn't do anything else but commercial, print, stuff like that. And she's very well known to be just that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting in her office, and we were just chatting, and she was like, I'm going to go through my mail while we chat. And as she went through her mail, she opened up inevitably several headshots and resumes. And one of them was a girl. And this is years ago, and this is sort of how I built the whole philosophy of my business, to be honest. But she said, she was looking through it, and she took it, the headshot, and she went, oh, she's cute. Oh, she's very commercial. Oh yeah, I'm going to call her in. And she turned over her resume, and she showed me, and I was like, oh yeah, she looks great. Yeah, everything. And then she got to the cover letter, and the cover letter was like, hello, I am so-and-so, and I can't wait to be represented by you because I want to be on Broadway, and I want to be on TV, and I want to be in movies. And she looked at this letter and went, well, I was interested, but clearly this person didn't take any time to get to know who I am before they submitted their materials. And I would have repped her commercially. I would have brought her in. And so what happens is, yes, you could go to the drama bookstore, or you can order online these mailing labels so that all the work is done for you. But if you don't know who you're mailing it to, how can you expect them to be? If you're not interested enough to know who they are, how can you expect them to be interested in know who you are? So for me, I target, I mean, there's 150 agents in New York, easy. And I say target 10 or 15 that you really know you want, or that you really can get information about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way you sort of determine who you should be reaching out to.
Great. Do you have a process for research, or do you have any resources to point us to when looking? Like, do you look at agent workshops? Any ideas?
So I always think that any of those pay-to-play agent workshop, casting director workshops are only really effective. They're not effective as a blind date, is what I tell my clients. So you need to make sure that if it's someone that you're targeting, that you've laid the foundation. So if it's an agent you really want, and you know that agent shows up at one-on-one or Actors Connection all the time, make sure that you go, okay, I'm going to send them my materials, and then I'm going to postcard them, and I'm going to do all of that within the 6 weeks leading up to the next time they're at that workshop, so that when you walk in, they're not going, who are you? They're going, oh, that's who you are.
Right.
So that's one way. With research, as far as research goes, it's, the power of the internet, the power of Google, the power of their social media and Facebook pages. Like I said, looking at both their personal and their professional presence, reading articles. A lot of them have done interviews or have like YouTube clips of them sitting on panels. Your colleagues in the industry who might be repped by them or have some experience or know someone. IMDb, looking at what their clients are doing. I mean, to me, any actor, like the IMDb Pro, I know it's $9 or $10 a month, but it's such a valuable resource in terms of knowing who's doing what, when, with who. That is important. That's very important. And that's where you can get that information. You can see, okay, this client, and look at what they're booking, because it's constantly updating. They get an episode of SVU, and you see that it's on their IMDb page. The other thing that I say is, when you Google an agent, oftentimes what comes up is personal actors' websites, because their agent is listed as a contact. Sure. And even if you don't know them, you can reach out and say, I see you're repped by Agent X. I'm researching Agent X. you don't know me, and this conversation will stay completely confidential between us, but I'm wondering if you could share a few words about your experience. Actors love to talk about themselves.
Of course.
And I would say you do that to 2 or 3, and usually you get, I always say do that with 3 people or so, because you'll always get 2 responses. And sometimes the responses are really thorough and helpful, and sometimes it's just them being like, they're great, good luck. Mm-hmm. Whether that, and even still, that even if it doesn't give you further information, that they're great, good luck can sometimes just give you that confidence that that person is a fit for you. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the way I go about it. The way I initially send my clients out on research.
Great. And when we're on IMDb Pro and we come across an agent and we see who their client list, mm-hmm. if we see people who are a similar type than us, mm-hmm. would that be an agent that you want to stay away from and say, oh, it looks like they have a lot of my type already? Or would it be the opposite, like, oh, they like representing my type?
So that is a question for them, mm-hmm. for the agent usually, because, and to be perfectly honest, I think it's different for every agent. Like certain agents specialize in certain types of people and certain types of things. If it were me as an actor, and I'm not talking as a coach for a second, I would want to stay a little bit away from that. I would not want there to be a lot of me. I wouldn't want to have to be internally fighting to get the same appointment as another client. Mm-hmm. I would want to be the person that if a breakdown comes across the agent's desk that I'm right for, I would want to be the number one person in their mind that they're
in the office. Okay, great.
That's important to me. But at the same time, if they have, sometimes it's like if they have a really lot of you, then they have a formula and they know how to make that person successful, which is why they take that person on. So sometimes there can be an advantage to that.
Okay.